Okay, Katie, new Katana ridden for the first time by yourself over here in the UK. What do you reckon?
Well, first impressions, really nice bike, lovely, its handling is beautiful, the engine is cut. Wait, I don't want to just jump into handling and shit, I want to talk about my day with it.
Yeah. Just general
I'm an overthinker,
yeah.
that's what I do. Is it recording? Yes, we have action. So guys, here I am at the launch of the Katana. So I've not ridden this bike yet, obviously. There isn't many people that have. I'm one of the lucky ones. So let's crack on, get riding it and have a mint day. See how she is. Right, height wise, relatively tall for me being 5'4". I'm on my tippiest of toes, but it is a seat height that I'm used to, so I'm not too worried. It's got a quick start button just there. You just flick it and it fires up. The Katanas that we're all on are the silver ones, and we've got the lead bikes in with the black. So I guess here we go. Clear, and away we go. It's a horrendously wet day because recently it just seems that I have terrible days to do things. Track day, let it rain. Launch day, let it rain. So yeah, there's a few people with me at the moment, majoritively journalists. I'm not, I am just a blagger. My initial thoughts about the dash is that it is an LCD dash. It has very clear display of what your fuel is. It's got clear display of your miles an hour. It has a lovely gear indicator, which I'm very sad. I love me a good gear indicator. So the revs on this curl up, sort of a swooshy motion. And I think that is to pay homage to the original Katana clocks in a really modern kind of way. That slipper clutch is lovely, just drops gear effortlessly. You can just let the clutch straight out, no bother. Oh, it's very smooth. First impressions again with this, very easy to rev. The throttle's not snatchy, the power's not snatchy. Looking at this chap in front, don't know his name, so if you're watching this I do apologise. I was late, took me 4 hours to get here, so I didn't really have any introductions with people. But looking at the chap in front, the back end is really tasty. You've just got like the two separate lights. The reg plate is like sort of attached to the swing arm, just to give that rear end a nice tidy up, so there's a big space between the light. Now I really like that. A lot of people don't like it, but that's my preference. I think it does tidy up the bike nicely. So it's now started to torrential rain, but guess what, I really don't care. I love me some rain. Doesn't bother me, my skin's waterproof. Seating position on the bike. Bars are typical naked bike style. Got a bit of a bend to them. They're not complete like a flat bar. Very comfortable for me. Foot pegs. Not as extreme as rear sets, but they do sit quite far back. think. I mean, it's very comfortable. I'm 5'4", like I mentioned. Probably sick of hearing that. So power wise, this bike has 150 brake horsepower, which is quite respectable for a naked 1000. It's the same power obviously as the GSXS 1000 because it does share the same engine. But it's got a lovely sound when you wind it on. The bike has 3 levels of traction control. Sorry, the road's a bit bumpy and the suspension's doing its job. It has number 3, which is the most invasive. You could call it rain mode. Then you've got 2, which is obviously less invasive. 1, even less so, and then you can switch the traction control off, which will be music to a lot of your ears. So this bike does not come with a quick shifter, and very much like its GSXS 1000 brother, you can't sort of rev match it and go up the box. It just doesn't like that. Not as much as its little brother anyway. And when I say little brother, I mean the GSXS's little brother, the 750, which you can just shift up the box and it does it effortlessly without clutch, even though it doesn't have a quick shifter. Not the case with this, but then again, it's, you know, it isn't a GSXS 1000, so, you know, it's you don't really expect it. You expect it on something like that. It's always nice, don't get me wrong, but who knows, maybe they'll bring out a add-on for it at some point. It's all speculation. Oh, induction sound is beautiful. Oh, I've got water running in my leathers now. Amazing.
You wonder why?
And the riders know what he's like. Is he stopping at every dog and sort of middle conversation?
Oh, it's on now. It's recording.
And away we go. So we've just stopped off for tea and cake, and I want to tell you the name of the town, but I don't have the foggiest idea. It's a very quaint little place though. It's really quite lovely. So yeah, we're on the way back to Caffine and Machine. That's where it all started, Stratford upon Avon. So we're back there to get some food. Then we're going to do some tracking shots, which should be fun, which I'm sure I'll play in this video for you. And then it's time to go home. But yeah, so one thing that I'd like to... Oh, hello. One thing that I'd like to say about the Katana is it's super easy to ride. It's really manageable power. We did push on a little bit on the ride before, but my GoPro ran out of battery, which isn't unusual for me. So pushing along, bike behaves quite well. And here we are, back to base. If you guys haven't been to Caffine and Machine, it's lovely. I don't want to crash into the cone.
Katie, you've just ridden the new Katana over here in the UK for about 90 miles. What do you reckon?
Well, first time on the Katana, what can I say? Lovely bike. I've really enjoyed my time on it. I kind of had an idea of what I was going to expect with it because I have ridden the GSXS 1000 and I know that it's been sort of compared with that as a bit of a donor bike, if you will. So it rode exactly as I was expecting it to, which I don't have any complaints about because I love the GSX 1000. So overall, it's been a really good ride.
Katie, anything that you like in particular about the new Katana?
I really was impressed with the handling. What I thought was good about it was we were pushing on a bit today and the conditions weren't ideal. It's quite wet, a bit greasy on the ground, and really sort of pushing on over the white lines. Got a bit of bar shake, but it wasn't anywhere near as sketchy as it usually is when I'm pushing on over white lines. It just handled it beautifully and I wasn't really expecting that. So yeah, that really impressed me about it.
Now, it's got a, it's not a slow motorbike and it's not the lightest thing out there. Did you find it sort of quite easy to manage and get on with it? Do you think it's quite well mannered?
Yeah, I think the Katana is quite well mannered. Don't get me wrong, it's got 150 brake horsepower, which is ample for the UK roads. But just the way it rode, the power was smooth on delivery. It just ticked a lot of boxes for me. Like the engine's just, you can't really complain about it. It does everything right.
Tell me, if you wanted to, say I asked you if you wanted to ride it to Scotland, either tomorrow or in your own time, would you take a journey of that length on, or do you think it's just a focused Sunday afternoon type bike?
Yeah, I'd take it anywhere. I'm not precious about mileage on tanks and stuff like that. The previous bikes that I've owned have had a tank range of 100 miles, so it's not something that, I'm not used to. But yeah, it's all part of it. Stopping at the fuel station, having a brew if you want to. If you're getting tired a bit, it just sort of wakes you up and just a nice excuse to stop, stretch your legs. But yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. I'd happily take it to Scotland.
Anything that you're not too happy about, or anything you would like changed in any way?
So one thing that I would change about the Katana, and it's so small and it's probably because I'm a spoilt brat, but I do like self-cancelling indicators. That is it. Like, I just like the fact that I can forget about it and it'll self-cancel, but I just had to look down and think, oh, not switch it off. So yeah, only that, but it's a tiny niggle. I can certainly live without it.
Do you think this bike will be popular, and who do you think it'll probably appeal to more than any?
It's hard to say who the bike's going to appeal to most, just because I'm not familiar with the thoughts of, current Katana owners of the old shape, so I don't really know what their sort of feelings are towards the new concept. What I will say though is on social media I tend to see a lot of comments that are either very for it or very against it. It's quite a Marmite bike. Some people think it's really ugly and like hit every branch of the ugly tree on the way down. Other people really like the quirky aesthetic. I'm in that camp, I quite like it. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Either way, people are talking about it. So
okay, if it was yours, Katie, what would you use it for, do you think?
If it was my bike, I'd just use it for general use. Maybe a pot or two and from work, a Sunday blast, trips, touring, anything. It doesn't matter what bike I've got in front of me, I'll just use it for anything. I'm not too fussed.
But do you think it's quite a versatile bike then? Can it do all the things you've just mentioned quite comfortably in your book then?
I'd be able to tour on it. It's a nice back lane scratcher. You could even take it on the track, with its 150 brake horsepower. The tyres that are on it are excellent. I really found that in the wet today they were superb because we were pushing on a bit. And yeah, I think it could pretty much handle anything you threw at it.
Final question, overall, considering everything, marks out of 10 for the new Katana?
Marks out of 10, I'd probably give it an 8, because I think 9 or 10 you're looking at like amazing. And don't get me wrong, it's a very good bike. Just for me, I just would have liked self-cancelling indicators, maybe a TFT dash, but it's only because I'm a tart really. So, and one thing that I would really like to see on it will be a quick shifter, but that's just me being greedy. So overall, I'll give it an 8.